Hi, my name is Jesse Varsalone, and in this video, I will demonstrate how to open an OVA file. So I've already installed VMware Workstation, which associates OVA files with VMware Workstation, what I consider to be the best virtualization product that you could ever use. It's free now, even free for commercial use. Keep in mind, if you're using a Macintosh with a Mac, with a Silicon chip, you're going to use the QCal2s, and you're not going to do this. But anyway, as long as you're using an Intel-based system, you just double click on the file, and then you're going to specify where you want to send it and what the name of it is. So for the name, I'm just going to call it what it was, which is Cali with OpenBOS 2258. Now, for the path, you usually you can just accept the default. It puts it in your virtual machines. If you do have an external drive, like I do, can click Browse, and then I have a D drive, and I have a folder called Kali on there. And so you can just put it in an external. I recommend putting it on your C drive, not an external drive. You can have all kinds of problems if the drive gets unplugged. The virtual machine can become corrupt. If you have the storage, I recommend that you just put it on your C drive, accept that default. Anyway, I'll click the import button a while. And so it literally just decompresses it. Now, because I picked the um unfortunately I picked the D drive, that takes longer, and I want to make a quick video. So I'm just going to accept the defaults. And as you can see now, it's a lot quicker if you're using your storage that's on that. So now I'm gonna have to just give me a second here. Sorry about that. Since I made the actual virtual machine, I had the folder already. I had to delete it and come back. Now it's importing it. You'll see the green bar go across the screen as it continues to make progress. I'll pause the video briefly. Okay, it's not the most exciting thing to watch, but I unpaused the video. Again, I would say always recommend, if you have the adequate space on your operating system, that you do it there. As you can see from my computer here, I do have over 700 gigs free, although I've used quite a bit, not much free here. You can always get an additional, that's an external drive. Okay, it's finishing up the process now. And this will take longer or less time depending on how fast your equipment is. This internal drive isn't particularly the fastest, but there it goes. And now the machine will open. So now, here's another thing I wanted to talk to you about. Um, the limitations of this particular VM, I've basically put it down to a pretty minimum level. Not all students have, very high-end computers. Um, so in most cases, there's different virtual machines for different classes. Um, we try to put as little as possible. Here you'll see the victim machine for this particular class has only half a gig of memory. And the hard disk is pretty small too, and only one CPU. You may, if you have a, really high-end system, you are allowed to tweak these settings and add more processors and CPU. In my case, I do work all the time. I'm constantly using virtual machines. If I right click on the start button and go to system, you will see what kind of specs I have. So I have 64 gigs of RAM. I have plenty of processors, etc. This is an older version of Windows. I'm getting ready to upgrade here soon. So anyway, you could bump this up if you wanted to. Um, you could add more memory. There's recommended. There's the minimum, which we kind of went with to make sure that everybody would have an opportunity to use these hands-on tools. You can add more processors. If you add too much, it won't start. Then you always want to make sure that it's on host only, which I've set it to. Also notice that even though some people may wind up um, emailing an instructor or asking their red team or blue team members about passwords, the information is often just in there. And then I can basically just start it. Um, if it were me, I would take a snapshot before I start, just in case I need to revert and mess everything up. Snapshots are a great feature of VMware Workstation. All right, so I just click power on, and then you can click, if you get a question, you can click I copied it or I moved it. You can put I moved it. That's it. That's the end of the video. Stop sharing and stop the recording.